Hi. As some of you may know, I recently purchased a Leica Q3. This is the 28mm version. They recently came out with the Leica Q3 43, which is their 43mm version. This is the 28, so it shoots a bit wider. I really like this camera. I'm not a photographer. I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm learning. And I thought this camera basically fits my needs as being an all-in-one, shoot wide, basically capture everything at a very high megapixel, and then I can crop in where I need to. And so far, this camera has not let me down. Now, I'm still learning how to get out of auto mode, so I shoot auto everything, but I could tell you that so far, the image quality out of this thing is pretty amazing. And especially once you take it out of auto mode and start to mess with some of the settings on it, the image quality is really good. But I thought I would share, because the Q3 is now gaining popularity again. It was big last year. Now with the Q3 43, there's a lot more people talking about the camera again. I thought I would go over just some accessories that I bought for the camera that I think you would want to do right out of the box. And then we'll talk about some extras as well that I added that kind of make the camera more fun, or at least the user experience a little bit more enjoyable. So let's talk what you're going to get out of the box. Out of the box, you're going to get this camera. I added these little Peak Design straps, but the camera itself basically comes just like you see here. It's got the lens hood on it, and it's basically this. There are no lenses. The lens is a fixed lens. Everything's one giant block, basically, and this is what you're going to get. Now, you're also going to get a battery, which is at the bottom as well. That comes with the camera. And then the Q3, the 28mm one, also comes with a battery charger. My understanding is the Q3 43 does not come with the charger, so you're going to have to charge the battery through the camera. Or you can also do wireless charging if you buy the kit to do that, so you could set the camera down on a wireless charger and you can charge the camera that way. But on the Q3 28mm, you do actually get a separate charging device that you could throw your batteries in. Now, that being said, the only thing out of the box that you're going to need to buy is going to be an SD card. Now, you may have these laying around and you may not need to buy one, but I have the micro SD cards for a lot of my cameras. This one here, you're going to need a full-size one. So I bought a Lexar Professional. This one here is 256 gigabytes. It's a fast SD card. So I'll leave the links in the descriptions for everything we talk about here, so you don't need to pay attention to even what I'm saying. But you're going to need an SD card. Get a fast one, because this thing shoots very large file sizes at 60 megapixels, and then also has the ability to shoot up to 8K video as well. So if you want to do that, you're going to need a very large memory card, and then you also need one that's fast. So this is the first thing you're going to need to buy, is a memory card. The next thing I bought that I think is necessary, because this is a fixed lens camera and it's a very expensive lens. Somebody said the lens, if on the M series, for example, if you wanted to buy this lens, basically is the price of this camera. So you don't want to mess this up. And in order to get it repaired, you have to send it back, and then you're out of a camera. So for me, I ended up buying just a clear lens or UV filter. The filter size on this is 49 millimeters, and it just screws right in here. It's completely clear. This one here is by K&F, but again, get a good one that doesn't get a lot of glare. This is an expensive camera, let's just face it. So don't cheap out on the parts necessarily. Now, there's going to be some things that we cheaped out on for sure, but to protect your lens, I would not cheap out on the optic quality. I haven't seen any difference in the quality of image with this on or without it on, so I think I'm doing okay here. But if anything were to mess this up, if I get fingerprints on it, I can clean it. If I get dust on it, I can clean it real easy without ever worrying about damaging the actual lens. So that would be a recommendation I have. The next thing I think that you want to do is protect the screen on the back. Now, this is a very large screen. It's all touch screen as well, and it does flip out. So both the 28mm and the 43mm both have a flip out screen, and it does tilt up and down, but it does not flip out like the Sony's. So you can't see yourself if you're vlogging, for example. But because it does have a nice touch screen on it, you'd want to protect that. So I ended up buying a screen protector that, just like a cell phone, you would want to protect that screen in case you scratch it or something like that. You could peel it off, put a new one on, and you're not going to damage the screen itself. Some people like them, some people don't. I'm in the club where I like having a screen protector, so I put one on here. And the only thing I would recommend is that when you get your screen protector, see if there's a kit that has two. These things are a little bit finicky to put on because there's not really an edge to the screen. You just have to line it up by sight, and hopefully you get it on straight. Give yourself the option to have two of them in the kit, so that way in case you mess up on one, you have another one, or in case you damage one, you can peel it off and put the other one on. So I would say that is about it as far as things that you're going to want to do right out of the box. Now, we'll get more into the extra stuff, but I would say if you're going to go one level up on things, I would say you might want to get an extra battery. Now, these batteries are not cheap, and they do take a little while to get to. I think I had to wait about a week or a week and a half before Leica sent me this, and you can only buy them through Leica right now. But this gives you at least the ability to have an extra battery. And so if you're out on vacation or something like that, have two batteries charged. These batteries do last quite a while though. So you could be out there taking pictures all day and maybe go through a half a battery. So you may not even need this, but this does give you peace of mind in case you're out and you don't have to worry about charging your battery or bringing a charger with you or finding power someplace. You at least have one. So I would say that would be probably the next thing that would be mildly optional in that category of, do you need it? Maybe, but at least you have it if you need it. Okay, so let's go on to now some of the more funner stuff. We'll start from the cheapest and then work our way up. The shutter button on here is just a flat shutter button. It is threaded, but it will not take like a cable of any sort. You've probably seen people's cameras and other videos where they have a soft release button, and that's what this is. This is one I bought off of Amazon. Leica sells these as well. Theirs are much more expensive, but you can see here, it's just a small little button. Now I bought mine in red. You can get them in different colors. I'll leave the links below. You can buy the Leica version as well. They're really nice and they're just really comfortable. These literally just screw into the top here and that's it. And now you're set. It's just a little bit more comfortable to shoot this way. You could feel it as opposed to the flat button. And it also is indented so you can keep your finger in there and take pictures as you need to. Again, is it required? Absolutely not. This is probably the cheapest accessory you can get. You get two in a pack. I don't know why they give you two in a pack, but you get two in the pack that I'll link to Amazon. Leica obviously will not give you probably two in the pack. Again, you get a little bit of a deal there in case, I guess, you lose this one. There is a little gasket at the bottom too. That's nice as well. Not sure if you need that or not, but it does feel nice. It's got a little rubber stopper feel to it. So that I would say is going to be the cheapest thing. The next thing is going to be these Peak Design anchors. Now, do you need these? No. The Leica itself comes with a beautiful leather strap that has all the attachments you need for that strap. For me, the Leica strap is a beautiful piece of leather, but it is a little bit firm to start with, but I'm sure it will soften up over time, just like anything else leather. I like to wear my camera to the side, and I'm a bigger guy, so I wanted something that was adjustable, and we'll get into what I bought for that. But because I'm in the Peak Design ecosystem now, for those straps, these little anchors become important, and so they're not very expensive, but you would want to do that if you're going to use the Peak Design straps. The next thing you're going to probably want to buy, and now we're getting into the optional, but maybe required kind of things, just like the battery. I would say that if you look back here, this camera is very small. It does have an indentation right here for your thumb, but it's very smooth. And if you're not having a wrist strap or something like that, this can feel very small in your hands and very slippery in your hands. It could be just me, but this feels like you can drop it, or that the grip isn't as stable as you might want it. Now, again, could be completely personal preference. You'll see a lot of people put a thumb grip on the camera. Now, this one here I got off of Amazon, and I'll zoom in on it here and I'll put some B-roll of it as well. This one here seems to be the closest version you can get to the actual Leica one. This one here is actually engraved like the original Leica one. So it's probably the closest replica that you can get to what Leica's selling. I believe Leica sells these for over $200. This one here was at least half that. This here has the buttons on the grip as well. So that way you can use the buttons on the back of the Leica. And this fits into the hot shoe that the Leica has and just presses right in. And you could see that it fits perfectly. I've seen the original Leica ones. I was at the Leica Los Angeles store and I could not tell the difference between this one and the one that Leica is selling. I would say that for just peace of mind of now being able to grip this better, it feels so much better in the hand, so much more secure, and this is all you probably need. We'll get into something a little bit more advanced in a second. Again, you have access to both buttons on the back. I've been using this grip now for about a month. I bought it like right when I bought the camera, and it's super comfortable now to hold. And I would say probably with one of the other things we're going to talk about, this and maybe a wrist strap would probably be all you need. If you really wanted to go with just a minimalist type kit, this would be probably all you would need. It feels so much more secure in your hands, and it just gives you that extra little peace of mind as you hold it. Now let's talk about strap options, because I did buy two different things for straps. Again, the Leica comes with a beautiful leather strap. I ended up going with the Peak design. This is their adjustable strap. It is a lot longer, but it's got this cool little latch feature on it where you can change the length of the strap pretty easily and quickly. So if you wanted it to be short, you just click and move it to short. If you want it to be long, like I like it, you can click and adjust it. If you want it more secure to the body or up higher or down lower as you're moving around, at least you have that. And because it's got the anchors on here, these just very easily clip in. You're good to go, and it takes 2 seconds to take it on or off. And this strap is really comfortable. It's gripped on one side, so if you want to have the camera not slide around your shirt, it is gripped. Or if you want it to be more mobile, you can turn the grip inside out and it becomes very smooth. So you have that option as well. The other thing I did to this strap is I put this little device on it. So this just screws into the strap. This is sold off of Amazon. And in here is an air tag. And so if for whatever reason I leave my camera and I have the strap on it and somebody takes it, they're going to take the air tag with them. This is screwed into the strap. So in order to get this out, you're going to need a special screwdriver, or if you're a bad guy, you just take the strap off and you'll take the camera. But at least it gives me kind of peace of mind as well. Or if I have this in another bag, for example, and I misplace my bag and then misplace the camera, at least there's an air tag on here. So that is the Peak design camera strap that I ended up getting for this camera. Now, if you want something a little bit more minimal, you can go for this. And this is the Peak design wrist strap. And I really like this. And I was using, I would say, this more than I was the big camera strap, just because it was convenient. And then when you're not using it, you can wrap it around your wrist, and it does have a magnet in it so you can wear it as a bracelet, so to speak. And so you can have the camera without the strap. Then when you think you're going to need it, it just clips right into the anchor here. And so now you have a very secure way to hold your camera, and it's not going to go anywhere. Also, this doesn't really get in the way, so you can move this anywhere you want, and you have access to all the controls, and it's just really secure. It's not going to go anywhere. It actually tightens up the more weight that's on it. No one's going to be able to just yank it out of your hand. These things are really strong. And so for me, when I was walking around taking pictures with this is pretty much what I used most of the time. And then if I needed to sit down or put the camera down, you just take the strap off, put the camera down, and now you could stow the strap away. Really great accessory to have. Um, you can do both. You can do one if you don't like to wear things over your shoulder. But I would say with the thumb grip and the wrist strap, that's probably all you need for probably 90% of what you're going to be doing. Unless you're going to be walking around with the camera a lot, then you might want to switch off to the big strap. Okay, so then let's talk about probably the next big thing that you might want to get. And that's going to be something to carry the camera in. Now, I ended up getting, if you haven't seen a theme yet with the Peak Design, I ended up getting the 3-liter Peak Design Sling. I like this. You can put this in anything. It is pretty small, but I really do like this particular sling in comparison to some other bags that I have. I didn't want to really carry a big backpack, but I wanted to carry something small enough. The interesting part to me, though, is you'll see reviews on this bag. And first of all, it is made really well. The zippers on it are great. The storage is great on it. This is an awesome bag. But you'll see people, and I'm not sure how they do it, but you'll see people load this bag out with giant cameras and lenses and all this other stuff. And I just went on a trip with this bag, and it was big enough where it wasn't this giant thing that I was carrying around, but I don't know how they do it. Because this camera has a fixed lens on it, it's going to stick out awkward in the bag. So it's going to take up a lot of your room in that bag. So for me, I was able to get the camera and the straps in here. And then I also was able to shoehorn my Pocket 3 without any extension or anything like that on it. So it's just big enough to carry this, but I wouldn't say this is hey, you can dump a bunch of stuff in here. But it is very comfortable to wear. It has the same very easy attachment thing that the strap has on it, where you can adjust it to make tighter or looser. And it's got a nice handle on it, and it is very comfortable to wear. So I would say this is a good bag. I know Tumi makes a bag as well that's 3 times the cost of this, that you could fit this camera in. But for something simple, low to medium cost, you can get this and probably be good enough. TomTalk, I think, makes a bag as well, but it's a little bit bigger, and I didn't want to go bigger. So I wanted something small and comfortable. This strap on this is super comfortable. And I've had other slings before, and they're just not as comfortable as this particular strap. A lot of foam padding. It doesn't cut into your neck at all, and very comfortable to wear. So again, I ended up going with Peak Design just because it's matched out now. And anyway, this is a really comfortable bag, but if we're going to want to carry this bag or protect it in something, so that's the Peak Design Sling. So now let's talk about more of an extra accessory that you can get. Again, that just improves the shooting experience with this particular camera. So as we talked about before, you have the thumb grip on there. And again, it just helps you hold the camera better. But if you see my hands, they just curl, and there's really not enough to grip onto here. Now, Leica makes a grip that you can get, but my understanding is it covers these. So if you wanted to take the battery out or wanted to remove the SD card, you have to take the whole grip apart, and then you can get to those particular things. So I ran across, this is the small rig, and it's the grip made for the Leica Q3. This will fit both the 28mm version and the 43mm version. What I did, which it's going to look a little different than what you're going to end up getting in the box, I painted mine. So this comes in a titanium type color, all the metal bits. So it's black rubber, and then it's a titanium type color. I didn't like the contrasts of that on the camera. I ended up spray painting this with a flat black and it matches the camera great. But what this does is it gives you the ability to have a better grip on the camera itself. Also, you could see below here that you have openings for both the battery and the SD card. In addition to that, this entire plate is Arca Swiss. So you just screw the clamp into the bottom here. You don't need an additional plate or adapter, or you don't need to screw into the bottom of this. Although you have the ability still to screw stuff to the bottom. So let me show you what I do with this. I like to have options on how I use this. So if I wanted to use this kind of in minimal mode, I can just use it just like this with a thumb grip and be fine. And so to me, I wanted to leave this little anchor on here. You'll see in here, there's actually a big giant cave in here. So you just position the anchor to fit into that hole back there, and then you're good to go. And now you've enclosed that. This just screws into the bottom, into your 1/4-20 on the actual Leica itself. And now you have a larger grip for sure, but it fits really well. It feels great. This is all rubberized here and does a really good job at matching the actual Leica skin, so to speak. And it's very solid. And then again, you have access to everything you need back here. It also comes with a little tool so you can unscrew the screw on the bottom here. And then that's just held on by a magnet. So again, really well designed. Now with the thumb grip and this kind of hand grip, you have a very secure way of holding this camera. And then if you wanted to put the wrist strap on as well, and this is super, super comfortable to hold. Now, it does add weight to an already heavy camera, and it does add some bulk. So just be aware of that. The bulk is really coming out forward and a little bit to the side, and then to the bottom as well. But it also protects the bottom. The other nice thing about this is now when you lay the camera down, the camera lays flat because the lens is so heavy and the center of gravity is not balanced. The camera will tip down. But with this, because now you have a very large, wide plate at the bottom, you can put this down anywhere and the camera stays nice and straight. I think that is a really good way to use this camera. This is how I use it. Just in the hand, it feels perfect. So now you have a really secure grip, especially if you have the thumb grip as well. And your camera's really going to be solid. So do you need both? Maybe not. You could take this off, for example, and the camera still feels good. Not as good with the thumb grip though. I'll be honest with you. The thumb grip actually does make a difference, but you could do without if you wanted to do one or the other. I think the small rig and the thumb grip are just about the same price. So you could choose to do one or the other. I think if you're going to do one or the other, depending on how big your hands are, you could just do good enough with a thumb grip, but this does give you so much more grip to the camera and it just feels a lot better in your hands. Although it does add bulk and you do lose then some of that user experience that Leica wants you to have with such a small footprint on this camera. But that being said, those are the items that I bought for this camera that I think are worthwhile. There are a couple minor accessories that I bought just to take care of the camera. So one of them is this little wind blower and it just keeps the dust off of everything. Do you need this? Probably not, but it does get dusty here. I live in Las Vegas and this here actually just blows everything off and it keeps everything clean. The other thing I bought, which I found, I think on TikTok, Instagram, was this product called Whoosh. And this is a cleaning fluid for electronics. It comes in a kit, comes with the orange towel. Allegedly, this is the stuff that Apple uses. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I have got suckered into their marketing and I bought a big bottle of it. This is my second bottle that I bought through them. And this stuff works really well. I use it for my cell phone, iPad, the keyboards, everything. In my Tesla, I use it. This stuff actually works really good. It doesn't smear. I would not use this to clean the lens, for example, but you can use it to clean the camera and the back of the screen. You just spray some on the microfiber, clean it, takes fingerprints off, takes smudges off of everything. And so, again, just something really simple to keep your stuff clean. But that's about it. That's all I bought for it. Again, the camera comes pretty complete out of the box, except for the SD card. So to get you up and running and shooting, you're good to go with an SD card. All this other stuff is really more personal preference and some of it's toys. But to start with something simple and then work your way up to whatever feels good for you. And I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it's been fun. This has been a really fun camera. This to me is just a really great camera that I'm learning to shoot with. And so far, I've been really happy with it. And then customizing it to make it your own is just even better. So with that being said, again, I hope you found this to be helpful. And if you have any questions about the camera or anything I bought, let me know. And I'll be happy to respond to your comments. Thanks very much again. Have a great day. Bye.